of a mutiny up here. There you go. Thank you. All right. We'll call this meeting to order, and everyone rise for the invocation. And Pastor Jeff Chipwood from the Anchor Christian Church, please come forward.
Let's pray. Dear God, we thank you for this day that you've given us, another day of life, another day of blessings. We just give you thanks for all the things that we have every day. And Lord, I pray that you'll be with the council today. I pray that you'll guide them, give them wisdom and insight on the decisions they have to make that impact many people here in Bonita. Thank you for our community, Lord. I thank you for their giving spirit and their caring. I pray that we will be a place where you will be felt among everyone. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Councilman Slucker, could you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilman McIntosh? Yep. Councilwoman Martin?
Here.
Councilman Slachta?
Here.
Mayor Nelson?
Here.
Councilman Simmons?
Here.
Councilwoman Simons? Councilman Longcart?
Here.
All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mayor.
All right. Nicely done. All right. At this time, we'll go to public comment on agenda items only. Anyone from the public wishes to speak at this time on an agenda item, please come forward.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. One at a time. One at a time. Okay. Public comment is now over, so we will go to proclamations and presentations. And at this time, I have a presentation for the declaring this as Salvation Army Week. Would Ken Fagan and Daisy Ellis of the Salvation Army please come forward?
No, Meg.
Is Daisy with you today?
Good morning. How you
I
doing?
didn't think you were Daisy.
I'm glad you got it. Yeah.
All right. Okay, this is a proclamation. Whereas Bonita Springs City Council is hereby declaring May 13th through 19th, 2013 as the Salvation Army Week. And whereas a love for God and a desire to help others is the motivation behind the men and women of the Salvation Army. And whereas the Salvation Army in the city of Bonita Springs, Florida provides comprehensive programs and services to individuals and families experiencing homelessness, poverty, addiction, illness, and injury. And whereas the Salvation Army serves as both a symbol of compassion and as an active participant in the provision of services to thousands of Bonita Springs men, women, and children. And whereas the Salvation Army has been providing these programs to residents of this area for 59 years. And whereas the Salvation Army provides its services to people in need without regard to the race, color, creed, sex, or age. Now, therefore, I, Ben Nelson, on behalf of the city of Bonita Springs, do hereby support and encourage citizens to recognize Salvation Army Week as May 13th through 19th, 2013, and urge all our citizens to join me in honoring the dedicated men and women who work and volunteer for this fine organization that touches the lives of so many. Thank you, sir, for everything you do, and thank you to the Salvation Army for your overview. Thank you, sir. Would you like to say a few words?
On behalf of the Salvation Army and as well as those that we minister to, Mr. Mayor, City Council members, thank you for this honor, for this proclamation. And we are so privileged to be a part of this community and to help make this a better place to live as we reach out to those who are hopeless and helpless, not by giving them a handout, but giving them a hand up. And I hope that we are always worthy of your support. Thank you, and God bless you.
Well done. Thank you very much. Okay, and at this time, we have a presentation by the Small Business Development Center of the Florida Gulf University of their quarterly report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Rudy Vruckman. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of Bonita Springs, it's my pleasure to come before you to report on the activities of Florida Gulf Coast University's Small Business Development Center right here in our fine city. It gives me great pride, in fact, to announce that your vision of providing current and future businesses assistance to start, grow, develop, or maybe even terminate is in the process of being accomplished. Let me borrow a phrase from the chairman of SCORE, with whom we share a facility in the city. Cottage One is open for business. In Cottage One, citizens of Bonita Springs can receive free and confidential advice on how to grow and develop their business, receive assistance in considering feasibility of a new business, or smart processes of terminating a business. Together, SBDC and SCORE will staff the cottage from Tuesday morning through Friday noon. Florida Gulf Coast University Small Business Development Center is one of 11 regions in the state. In 2012, statewide, SBDCs provided free and private consultation to more than 15,000 individuals. And we provided training sessions, free or very low cost, to more than 23,000 other individuals. Statistics indicate that we created, saved, or retained almost 44,000 jobs, assisted in generating in excess of $6 billion worth of sales in the state, and were instrumental in creating just over 1,000 new businesses. Specifically in Bonita Springs in 2012, we held 192 sessions with 74 business owners. That represented 47 existing businesses and 27 individuals who were considering a startup. We expect to do much more than that in 2013. As some of you are aware, I'm a newbie to the city, and since March, it has been my pleasure to meet many business owners and wannabe owners, city and chamber officials, bankers, developers, mechanics, restaurateurs, real estate agents. Let's just call them plain folks who want to do business in Bonita Springs. In the process of doing that, I've discovered that we have a lively group of entrepreneurs who are poised to improve the economy of our city. In the process, I also have discovered something unique, something for which you, the city, and the staff are to be congratulated. The reputation is that Bonita Springs is easy to do business with. It is welcoming and supportive of individuals who wish to settle their endeavor. Coming from other parts of the country as a newbie here, that's a pleasure to notice. During my first month and a half of work, I have personally held 54 conversations and consultations. Half of those were with existing businesses, the other half are considering startups. We are in the process of organizing seminars for the second half of this year in Lyle's Hotel, and we will cover such topics as starting a business in downtown Bonita, what you need to know. I am delighted to inform you that our request to co-sponsor that session is being considered by your staff. In addition, we will be talking about how to obtain bank loans, what the banker wants to review. We will be talking about working with customers for the growth of a business. We provided you with a packet of some material. It contains a quarterly newsletter from us. Including in that newsletter are our current seminar schedules. There is some information about our Business Growth Acceleration Program, a pamphlet on the Small Business Resource Network, and last but not least, a package of wildflower seeds, which we hope are symbolic of our effort to nurture growth. We invite you to join us next week in honoring the Distinguished Entrepreneur 2013 Award at a dinner Wednesday night, the 22nd, on our campus. I look forward to cooperating with the city and its staff members, with SCORE, with the Chamber, with the Economic Development Council, and certainly with our entrepreneurs within the city. I thank you for inviting me to do this presentation, and in turn, I would like to invite you to visit us at Cottage One so we can continue to work together to improve the business life in Bonita Springs. Thank you for your attention.
Well done. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's go on to the consent agenda. Does council, do you have anything which you would like to pull from there? Let's take a moment, think about it. If not, is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Motion to approve in a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Martin?
Aye.
Councilman Slackton?
Aye.
Mayor Nelson?
Aye.
Councilman Simmons?
Aye.
Councilwoman Simons?
Aye.
Councilman Longcart?
Aye.
Councilman McIntosh?
Aye.
Okay, and we are to item 7 or 8. That isn't there. Yeah, the eye test just failed. Public hearing and public comment is allowed on this. Second reading and public hearing of following ordinance. Audrey.
Thank you. For the record, Audrey Vance, City Attorney. We have an ordinance here today for a second reading. I'll read the title block into the record. This is an ordinance of the City of Bonita Springs, Florida, to repeal Bonita Springs Ordinance Number 04-08, an ordinance related to the collection of state and national criminal history information on employees, providing for an effective date. This is second reading. I do have the affidavit of publication and reviewed it. It is legally sufficient and on file with the city clerk. The background of the ordinance is the city did adopt this in 2004, went through the fingerprint process, determined that it was duplicative with the city's other existing processes and is not necessary.
Okay. Any questions from the council before we go to public comment? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick. The reason I'm voting no on this is, fingerprints are, an identifier for people. You don't really know that that's the person who says that they are. And so it's just absolutely tells you that that's the person who it is. I mean, they can tell you and give you numbers and all that kind of stuff, but people can create identities, and that's all. Just want to be safe. That's
Okay.
it. Thanks.
Good. Any other questions, comments, council? If any member of the public wishes to speak on this item, please come forward.
Yes, Rick Steinmeier, I assume that the city uses E-Verified on every applicant. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that's a yes.
In a former meeting, it was explained that
I'm
this was-
sorry,
I'm
Deborah, for the
sorry.
record.
I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
Deborah McLean, publisher of the Banana Peel. Recently, at a former meeting, it was explained that this was not a stopping of fingerprints, but a stopping of duplication. However, today I hear there'll be no fingerprints, and I have been. I've had identity theft of myself, and the only way I can prove myself is my fingerprints. Right now, out there on the internet, my car insurance, my credit. So the only way you know who they are is their fingerprints. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other member of the public wishes to speak on this matter, please come forward. Okay, we're going to close public comment, and I'm going to ask Audrey, would you just give kind of a brief synopsis on why we're taking this step, just as a reminder for the general public?
Yes, I can start, or Ms. Weiss can start.
Doesn't need to
either
be
way.
lengthy, just whatever you can do.
And really, what was happening was in the HR, Meg would go and get the background checks, would get a thorough check, information. She can detail all that. The fingerprints would take 2 to 6 months to receive. They were usually inconclusive because there might be a problem with the fingerprints. It's not as if the fingerprints are being taken of everybody. They were being taken of employees, council. I believe council members had to go. It was a practice that was discontinued, I believe, before City Manager Schwing started. This is more of a paperwork of just stopping a process that was in it. The statute says governments may do this. They are not required to do it. It's for sensitive, but because of government light, we're such a small area, people do have sensitive access to areas that they normally wouldn't have in a regular government. So it was done as a practice on everyone, and that practice had been discontinued.
Okay, all right. Meg, did you have anything to add before? No explanation? All right, but it is your recommendation as HR that we proceed with this. Okay, good. Carl, anything? Council, what's your pleasure? Move the item. Move to accept. Second. Is there any other comment? Roll call, please.
Councilman Slakta?
Aye.
Mayor Nelson?
Aye.
Councilman Simmons?
Aye.
Councilwoman Simons?
No.
Councilman Longcart?
Aye.
Councilman McIntosh? Councilwoman Martin? Aye.
Okay, we're flying right along here, and we are to public comment again. And this public comment would be on any item that you would like to talk about. Anyone who wishes to speak about anything, please come forward. In regards to anything.
Okay, Rick Steinmeier, this big article in the Banner, Getting It Done. They're talking about renourishing Lover's Key in Bonita Beach. It cost us $5.2 million and is paid for by the federal government rather than the state, the city, and the county. Supposed to start in September. This is first knowledge that, you know, they make a lot of things like they're going to do a mile of Bonita Beach. Well, that's not going to happen because that involves me and my property. It has never been renourished. It's never going to be renourished. I'd like some clarification whether the Banner knows what they're talking about. I'd like an update from the city on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
Deborah McLean, publisher of the Banana Peel. I am reading the last couple sentences of an article in the Naples Daily News where Attorney Keene, representing the Burnett's client, says Burnett Estate themselves would rather build the shelter. We do know that the daughter of Mr. Burnett does not approve of the shelter. But what is curious to me is the last sentence. The development we have in mind is probably not at all what people envisioned, and I think the city knows that there's room to accommodate everyone. It appears from this statement that Mr. Keene, Attorney Keene, has been talking to people and already has a pre-approval of some new design. I would like to caution the city that this is not in line with our mission statement, a safe, walkable community, that the documentation about crime and homeless shelters is something that will come forward in its reams. It's not inches, it's reams of information, and that this loophole that was discovered is based on incompetency. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else this time? Seeing none, we'll go directly to the city attorney's report. Audrey.
Thank you. And on that note, I have one item on the agenda, and I do have a few other little things to talk about. And unless directed otherwise by council, we will be continuing with the writ of mandamus, responding to that. I just wanted to make sure council's clear on that direction.
Okay. And at the end of this discussion or non-discussion?
Non-discussion, really.
Non-discussion.
Right.
You just need direction as well again to
Right.
proceed.
At this point, a lot of discussion would probably be non-productive because, as Ms. McLean pointed out, a lot of people are reviewing the story. We have one side of the story that is going out where people are able to judge on the one side of the story. Very easy for people to do. At this time, allow us to respond appropriately. And I would not want to discuss strategy at this meeting in the open because it's an open record.
I'd like to make a motion for the city attorney's office to remain with Reutzel and Andrus as the special legal counsel to defend the city in the writ of mandamus.
We have motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mayor Nelson?
Aye.
Councilman Simmons?
Aye.
Councilwoman Simons?
Aye.
Councilman Longcart?
Aye.
Councilman McIntosh?
Aye.
Councilwoman Martin? Aye. Councilman Slakta?
Aye.
Okay, Audrey, do you have anything else for us?
Yes, I do. I want to introduce Nadine Hildebrandt. Nadine is going to be with our office for the summer. She is a going into her third year of law school at Ave Maria, and she'll be here part-time. I'll have another one I'll introduce later on. She'll be working today, helping me with some construction contracts and learning some of the different ropes of this area and observing the meeting and learning about some of the issues that come up, legal issues, through these meetings.
Thank you.
Please
Welcome.
welcome her.
To the city of Bonita.
Welcome.
Okay, and that's all you have?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, good.
I did send one other thing. If anybody has comments on the letter I am sending regarding BP, you were copied on it, please let me or Carl know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and we are up to the city manager's report. Carl, you're on.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First item on the agenda is the monthly financial report, which we have provided to you. We are in good shape. If there's no questions with that, there are, yes, sir.
I do have a comment, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, go right ahead.
We had a question from the public earlier about beach renourishment, and the issue was, is there enough public knowledge? In the budget on page 155, there's a line item that says we have $1.66 million budgeted in capital expenses. I'll go to Assistant City Manager Gucciardo to confirm that, but would you please, John?
Absolutely, this project is fully funded from the local perspective, both at the city level and the county level. I'm not exactly sure where Bonita Banner got some of their information from, but the quick summary is that this is planning on going forward. County is going to be going out to bid on this project and other projects during the summer with the hope that construction will start in the fall. We don't know exactly when construction on our segment will start because that will be dependent on which contractor gets the bid and how they decide to approach the various projects that they'll be bidding for. But the bottom line is it is fully funded. It's the same project that we've been talking about for the last couple of years.
Thank you, and I apologize for interrupting your flow, but thank you.
That's all right. The flow was okey-doke.
Good.
No problem. We were actually going to address that issue as it was a question, but, yeah. And again, we plan fully to fund this as the council has directed for the coming cycle after this one. So we're well-positioned to be able to fund those kinds of things. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about financially is that, and bring Lisa Pace up, our Director of Finance, is that we have been going through the budget for the coming year. It's that time of year again, and we will be holding a workshop on July 15th, as the council has already called, and we actually had, you wanted to bring some comments to their attention? Go right ahead. We're looking very good, by the way.
Yes, yes. We wanted to first make you all aware that for over the last month, or a little longer than a month, your staff has been already involved in the budget process. We're estimating revenues. Staff has been building cost estimates, presenting those to your city manager. Your city manager is going through line by line from all staff requests and analyzing all the data. We're going to compile that and assemble it and present it to you all. As he mentioned, July budget workshop. We will be, over the next couple of days, sending out an email. I will be sending out an email to you all that is intended to request your individual budget items or projects that y'all would like to see presented in July. We'd like to get this. If you could provide us a little bit of detail on those so that staff could begin to work, compile cost, look at different feasibilities, different other areas with respect to the project or requests that you have. So if y'all look for that email, give it some thought, and respond back to me with the list, we'll begin to work on that as well.
Okay, any questions? Yes, Bill.
It's not a question. It's about yesterday we received the impact fees for the 5 months or 6 months, or whatever it is, and we have already exceeded the residential amount. As I said some time ago, last year, that the condition of the city is actually getting better and better, and sometimes we get over. It's really a lot to do with your particular function, and Carl's, of course, and the help of the council to work along with you. But I want to congratulate the staff and the council in terms of how prudent we really have been. As you know, I'm a conservative guy, and you didn't know that, Martha? So, great work. Thank you.
Good. And you'll be happy to know staff is we're more optimistic this year from impact fee standpoint. The activities we're seeing, don't want to get too crazy, but definitely more optimistic than we have been in the prior years. We're very pleased with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Any other comments, questions? Well, I have to tell you, I love it when you come to the microphone because I don't know you, Pete. I have 5 y'alls.
What was that word? Was it line?
Line by line.
Line by line. My fellow Southerner, thank you very much for coming to my microphone right now. See, I can do that too.
Thank you, Lisa.
Like a switch, on, off. Well, it's not off, but it's kind of like ratcheted down. Anyway, there you go.
right.
That's embarrassing enough. How would
Thank
you
you,
like
sir.
to go?
Thank you.
Please talk before I say anything else.
The next item we have on my agenda is a report for, about the unpaved streets. As you know, we've been working this on, with the residents of individual streets for some time now, and I give John Gucciardo a lot of credit for kind of coordinating that effort. It's been a long time in coming, but we have some exciting news today, and I'll let John do that. John?
The item that you have in front of you is approval to allow us to go ahead and award the bid of the contract for the first segment of unpaved roads to a successful bidder, and we're very happy to say that the numbers came back better than we had estimated. We've done some due diligence with this particular contractor, and we're very comfortable going forward with them if you give us that permission to do so. This, again, will be for at least 5 of the first 8 streets that we contacted the neighbors on. I think you've got an errata sheet that went to you that said that Somerset is now going to be included in the list of the first ones. I want to thank not only the Point people, but Councilwoman Simons for going out and trying to ratchet up some last-minute support on that street. And it was very successful. Thank you very much. So now we've got those streets that we'll be able to direct the contractor to go in and do this project on. The ultimate aim is to get this first segment, first component done, and then take a look at it, analyze the results, and bring back to you, hopefully, a second batch of unpaved private roads that we can address in the upcoming fiscal year, and we do have that budgeted, by the way, in the upcoming fiscal year.
Okay, good. Council? Yeah, Martha.
Yeah. I have to disclose that I'm not going to be voting on this because I do live on Somerset Lane and I own, lots on the street. But I do want to congratulate all the people on the streets that are getting paved. Somerset Lane has 100% of their license agreements signed, just turned in the last one this morning, and like 96% payments in. So I want to congratulate those residents. I also want to thank Councilman Longcart for his support initially on this, because we just kept pounding on this, didn't we? And anyhow, it's a good thing for the city. We're, becoming a more urban environment, and I just think it's time to get these little roads finished. I have a couple recommendations for the future ones. Okay, so awesome, and congratulations everybody in the neighborhood for participating, all the neighborhoods. And I will not be voting, I will be abstaining.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Steve.
I'll make the motion, but I also want to compliment city staff. It's been 2 years ago that Carl sat with me in Jarrow Road, and we spoke with 4 of the 6 residents on Jarrow Road, and we talked about the quality of life in the city and what made an A-class city. And previously, we had had no hope of being able to pave those roads. Carl came back, looked at the budget, looked at some opportunities to make this thing work, and thank you, Carl, because obviously if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in this position. And then John picked it up in sort of a tag team fashion, did all the real legwork in terms of getting people together, so thank you both. I'm very, very proud of the city staff and the project here, so thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We
Make that
appreciate
motion.
those kind words. I do have to share some of the glow here with our city attorney, Audrey, who actually came back with a legal opinion we could actually make this happen somehow. So we appreciate that. Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you
And I
guys,
would-
really.
Diane?
It's amazing what opinions you can get when you pay for it, isn't it? Sorry.
And we thank Matt Feeney for what he's going to do.
I'd like to ask Councilman Longcart if he'd second this, because you have really worked on
My
this.
pleasure.
There's a motion and a
Second
second on the
motion.
floor. And yes, John, did you have something?
No, I was just going to, while the thank yous were going out, if we haven't done it already, and I've tried to in the past, but a special thank you to all the Point people that we had on each of the
Yes.
blocks. We had volunteers come forward to be the coordinators on those streets, and they did an incredible job.
Yep.
That's good.
Thank you,
And
John.
I would just ask city council, don't start patting ourselves on the back until we get this finished. That's
What-
probably
what-
a good idea.
What is the time, so we can tell the residents what to expect?
We'll be getting in touch with the Point people again on each of the streets after we meet with the contractor. And again, we have some time periods we have to wait. The protest period, I'm not sure, has run yet. We plan on meeting with the contractor pending this approval today next week He'll give us a game plan on which streets he wants to go after first. So we'll be contacting the point people. We also want to remind them that they have the ability then to contact that contractor about private work that they could have done in terms of tying in their driveways and things like that. So we'll take care of the notifications, but we're hoping to see this kick off within a week or two.
Do you have, will you be giving a, like a cover letter or something with a sheet that says, here's his contact information, call him? Are the negotiation for the tie-ins and everything, because on unpaved roads, we don't have to pay a right-of-way permit for that. But for that, are you going to try to talk to that guy about having a one set price for a tie-in, or?
Well,
That's up to the residents.
Yeah, it's up to the resident and the contract. It'll be a private matter between individuals.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Roll call.
Councilman Simmons?
Aye.
Councilwoman Simons?
Abstain.
Councilman Longcart?
Aye.
Councilman McIntosh?
Aye.
Councilwoman Martin?
Aye.
Councilman Slackton?
Aye.
Mayor Nelson?
Aye.
One more
Okay.
thing, Mayor.
Oh, yes.
The people on my street have been trying to get this road paved since 1982. They collected $300 and had it in escrow at that time, and they thought that was too much money. So they returned the money to everybody, and I've been working on this since 1996. So, yay, team.
Okay. Yes, Steve, you have a question
Yeah,
for Carl?
Carl,
Yes, sir.
and I noticed on the radio they've been advertising for the positions for terraces. Do we have a time frame when they're going to be opening officially?
My understanding is they're going to be opening Phase 1 midsummer, I believe, is what they're shooting for. I'm not sure if for phases after that.
Okay.
Right.
Paper said July.
Yeah.
Okay. Carl, what else do you have for us?
Want to announce, actually, that next Wednesday evening, there's going to be a DRGR workshop in this room, council chambers here at City Hall, starting at 6 o'clock. We invite all the public who's interested in this topic. And again, this is the study in the DRGR area as to what, if anything, should happen up there. This is just another one of the ongoing steps in the study process that were promised by the consultant that we hired, Baracco and Associates. This will be conducted by the consultants themselves, but we are sending out notices to as many people as we can. It's on our website, should you like to look at that. And it will also be in the newspaper soon. Is that right?
Yes,
Diane?
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
Tomorrow's News Press.
News Press, tomorrow's News Press. So we invite those people interested in this topic to come forward next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock, and we look forward to your participation in this important process. The next item I have is to give you a very brief legislative report.
Excuse me,
Yes, sir.
could
I'm sorry.
ask something? I see that the meeting's not going to be televised. I happen to think it's very important that information be disseminated by the public that can't be here, and I'd like to request the possibility of TV. Since we do it for other workshops, I don't see something as important as this should be not shown on TV.
Carl, explain what the workshop is going to be. I mean, as opposed to a normal city workshop, how will it work? Do you foresee?
Well, I anticipate that the consultant is going, the consultant already has an agenda that is out. I think that he's going to be providing some brief information with regards to that, and then looking, of course, for public input on that. So as far as how he plans to work that, I don't believe he's going to be breaking into small groups. So
He's more or less to do a presentation of what they're planning on doing. They haven't done much at all at this point. They're going to just say, here's what we've been instructed to do. We just want to know what your thoughts are, and there's going to be public comment to that.
Well, I think this is another step in the process. They have been meeting with the stakeholders that had been identified even before they came on board. They've been meeting with those stakeholders, which included not only council members, but also owners of property up in the area, Southwest Conservancy. They were supposed to meet with the county. There was a whole list of stakeholders. They've been doing that, as well as simultaneously looking at all the other studies that have already been done up there. So I think this is the public's opportunity to, at least at this time, there may be additional opportunities, for the public to have their say with regards to this as well. So, and I think the consultant's looking for that.
Okay. Janet?
I believe Diane can shed some light, because I remember getting it in the email invitation. There is going to be a taping of it.
Right, it's not going to be televised live, but it will be recorded for future showing on Bonita TV 98. I think it was just because there's going to be so many people in so many different locations, it's hard to televise it. I think they were going to try to edit it afterwards, but maybe John Gucciardo might be able to shed some light.
In the past, especially for workshop type settings as opposed to normal meetings or more regular meetings, we found that it doesn't make for the best live television. There's often long periods of time when people are discussing things amongst themselves or reviewing information that's being disseminated, and it doesn't lend itself to a live broadcast. The idea would be that it would all be taped, so that we will have equipment and personnel here recording all of that, then edited down so that when it is rebroadcast, it's something that people can watch and absorb probably more readily. The advantage of doing that also is that it'll condense the information and allow for multiple rebroadcasts as opposed to blocking out larger periods of time. I don't know how long the consultant feels this particular workshop's going to go, but workshops in the past have gone 2-3 hours, and again, might not make the best live television.
Okay, but if someone requests the unedited version, they'll be able to have it.
Absolutely.
Because it's public record. Okay? Yes, Bill.
I happen to totally disagree with you, because the fact is that we have a population of 45,000 people in this city, and this particular project or size, thousands of acres of land, it's in the best interest of the citizens of Bonita Springs to be able to hear every word possibly earlier rather than later. And I would like to make a motion to request that we allow TV for any of those meetings that they have in the future also.
There's a motion on the floor to instruct staff to televise live the workshop coming up. Is there a second?
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay.
If we're going to be recording it, because Mr. Lockhart, Councilman Lockhart, I don't know how the cameras would get the audience. Would the cameras be able to get the audience if they're participating? Because I suspect that the presenter would be standing at the podium facing that way. I just think if we record it and then immediately broadcast it, I don't have a problem. I actually think that in public disclosure and transparency, it'd be good to get the whole thing instead of editing it. And also, I mean, this is live, and this isn't the most exciting TV either, you know. So it can be long, and I'll make it shorter by just discontinuing my comments. But Mr. Lockhart, would you be willing to amend that to allow that to be recorded and immediately broadcast? Maybe we can hear comments from staff about how that's done. If it can't be done live because of the position of the audience.
If I thought, Martha, thank you for that. I appreciate what you're trying to do. I just can't believe that we cannot televise something of this magnitude that's coming down the road for all of us, so that the people in the city can have that exposure, as much exposure, tapes, everything, because I have already had comments from people in my area in reference to it, and they're very concerned, and I think more information is better. And by the way, on the agenda, there's also a question and answer session from the people that will be here in person. So we'll get some comments from the people that I plan to be here also to listen. And but I think it's important. If I didn't think it was important, I wouldn't definitely make a motion to do something. But I happen to think that if you're going to start something, the magnitude of this project, of the size, the acreage, thousands of acres, you need to have the public fully engaged.
Okay, let's find out what the council,
Okay,
rest
that's
remainder
fair,
council,
that's fair.
fair. Steve?
Yeah, refresh my memory. The branding that we did, that workshop was quite extensive. Was that televised? I know it was recorded.
Here comes Arlene.
Can we technically?
Good morning. It was recorded, and the purpose of recording it is that we had a secondary camera in the audience moving around that Antonio was using, because we wanted to make the workshop as approachable as possible for everyone. We wanted to receive everybody's comment. Sometimes when doing a workshop, not everyone is comfortable coming straight up to the podium, so we did engage discussions within the audience. So there was the main camera running that normally records the meetings, and anyone who did come to the podium was recorded. But there was a secondary recording by Antonio in actually passing a microphone along in the audience, so we captured more comments that way. Those 2 cameras were edited to show the branding workshop in its totality, so that both discussion points were able to be covered.
So historically, as John indicated, we have been using this approach.
We have, when there's been a discussion, especially in the audience, whenever for example, we did the workshop on the Mayhood property, that was done the same way. We actually handed a microphone through the audience to folks so that they could express their opinions. And then we had some breakout sessions as well. We had
Right,
different
I remember
stations
that.
that people went to. Antonio took the handheld camera and focused in on the discussions in those individual categories. Should this consultant not do breakout sessions, that might be a little bit different, but if we are trying to engage the audience to answer questions, it is sometimes easier for folks to just take a handheld microphone in the audience, and they may feel more comfortable sometimes expressing their opinions than actually coming up. It's a way of comfort for them as well. But those are the previous.
Can I ask
Good.
a question
One
then?
second, let's see if anybody else have anything? All right, go ahead.
So, Arlene, sorry, you just sit down. Technically, though, can it be done, because we have people making presentations and the mayor gives proclamations with a handheld microphone. Can it technically be done with, because I don't remember whether we have the cameras, we have new cameras installed now. Can it technically be done so that if we have conversation in the audience, that we have a handheld camera for a live broadcast? Can that be
Laura's been in charge
done?
of the project to redo that.
Awesome, thanks, Laura.
We have the capability for these cameras to tape all angles of the council chambers, but if we have 4, 5 breakaway groups, we don't have the capability for the audio.
Yeah,
We have the one handheld camera and possibly one other that Antonio uses when he's shooting that we could use, but we don't have the capability to do 4 or 5 breakaway groups for
Okay,
audio.
so I hear we're not doing breakaway groups, so I'm going to support Mr. Lonkart's motion.
Thank you, Martha.
Okay, yeah, any more comments? No?
Whatever council's pleasure, we're happy to do.
Council, any more comments? The motion is to go ahead and broadcast it live. And quite frankly, my opinion on it, don't care. Don't care. I think either way, people are going to see what they are. People are pretty fixed in their opinions on this anyway. I don't think anybody's opinion is going to be swayed one way or the other, so let it fly. You don't have any problem with staffing with having somebody here doing that?
We'll do what council wants us to do.
Okay.
Yep.
And in addition to that, if we could also, that won't be the same one that's rebroadcast. We could actually, if we wanted to go ahead and cover that better with a camera in the audience, we could do that as well, and then broadcast it later. Could we? Could we not?
Yes, we could. We'll
We'll
work
let
it
you
out.
figure that
We'll
out.
work it out.
Okay. There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hopefully not. Roll call.
Councilwoman Simons?
Aye.
Councilman Longcott?
Aye.
Councilman McIntosh?
Aye.
Councilwoman Martin?
Aye.
Councilman Slakta?
Aye.
Mayor Nelson?
Aye.
Councilman Simmons?
Aye.
Okay, Carl. What else you got?
Thank you.
The next item, I just wanted to give you a brief legislative report. Our lobbyists will be coming in and give you a more complete one, but what I thought I would do is just kind of compare against the council's legislative priorities for this year and let you know that we had, when I looked at it this way, we had a pretty successful legislative session, and Councilmember Simons was pretty involved in it, and I think agrees with that. It's hard when you're in the middle of the forest and you can't see anything but the trees to actually believe that until you kind of step back after session and you take a look. Our first legislative priority, of course, was to oppose anything that was going to be encroaching on home rule of cities and counties. And there were a number of items that we were able to fight back that would encroach upon a city's or a county's home rule ability to locally make the decision, rather than have a broad brush answer from the state. And so we think we were successful there. The second one was to increase the frequency of rotation and therefore increase our participation in the TDC, the Tourist Development Council. As council will recall, when we went into session, it looked like our rotation, we were going to have to wait 12 years before we would get back on. I mean, that's how long it would take to rotate out and then back in again. Under the legislation that was adopted by the state legislature, and thank you to our local delegation for picking this up and really running with it, because it was a local bill. It only affects Lee County in the entire state of Florida. It only affects Lee County. But our rotation goes from 12 years to every 3 years, which is a great, great improvement. The third thing was to oppose any legislation that would require mandated fertilizer standards. Now, there was a lot of talk, especially right up to the very end, about that kind of thing happening. And even though Bonita Springs itself may not have been impacted, at least initially, by that, we still opposed that kind of legislation based on the home rule and how it would affect other sister cities and counties throughout the state. And we were successful in beating that back. The one thing that we did not get any movement on, frankly, was the slot gaming. The legislature was just poised to do a more comprehensive look at gaming throughout the state. We are hopeful that we're going to see some meaningful discussion and movement next session when also the contracts with the tribes throughout the state are up. Those contracts are up for negotiation with the state of Florida. So we'll see what happens next session. We'll be working on that. Obviously, that's important, obviously because of the vote that was taken in November for slot gaming at the dog track. And then last but not least, well, actually, maybe not last, we were successful once again in getting the $250,000 for the Oak Creek dredging to be in the state's budget. And I don't know how many years in a row, I know it's been at least 3 years in a row we've had it. It is now in the governor's office again, and that is where it has previously been vetoed. I want to thank this council. I want to thank leaders in our community where we've reached out to folks and said, please send letters of support. And those leaders include our state delegation, including Senator Benaquisto, Senator Richter, State Representative Rodriguez. We've had a number of people who have written support letters. In fact, I happened to be in the presence of Senator Benaquisto yesterday. I did chat with her very briefly about this. She indicated that she has been talking personally to the governor about not vetoing this time around. We will see how that goes. We are hopeful we will get through that unscathed this year. And then last but not least, there was talked about the city generally supporting increased funding to education. And you know that that has happened as well in this session. So great session overall. Again, Carol Green will be here at some later date to give you a more detailed view of it. But we were pretty successful this year, and I just wanted council to know that. And thank you for all your support throughout the process.
Thank you.
Okay?
All right.
And if there's no questions, I've still got...
Okay. All right.
Can you just tell me the legislation on banning internet cafes, has that affected the city of Bonita? And I read something in it about it was up to local government or local enforcement agencies to do the enforcing. Either yourself or Audrey.
Don't have an answer for that
I
particularly
saw that they were
right
shut
now.
down, they've left, they're gone.
It's
they're
not
closed.
code enforcement as far as the local, I don't know if community policing is involved, but it's a statewide, it's not, I do know the legislation did not, and I sent a memorandum April 12th, the legislation did not shift responsibilities on code enforcement or community development.
Right.
I see.
So people may be going out of business
Lieutenant Press
voluntarily. So
is back there. Could I ask him if he had something to say about it, or?
Lieutenant, why don't you come on up here and give us your take on this?
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, we received a letter, and we went and the guys went around and checked all the ones that were supposedly operating, and all of them have closed. And the one that was still in the process of closing down had the paperwork in its window, so they have all been notified.
All right. Good.
As of in Bonita, nothing was operating.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Carl.
And I
carry
just
on.
one last thing,
Carry
not
on.
to be outdone by the city attorney's office in terms of interns. I'd like to introduce our new intern on the administrative side. Miss Lindsay Magera is back there. Lindsay, stand up and wave. Yes. Lindsay is going to be working in the communications division for us, and we look forward to great things. And we, too, are likely to have an additional intern as well. And by the way, our interns are unpaid, so they are here for the experience and the education. So we appreciate their being here. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, thank you very much. All right, here we are. We're at the mayor and council members items, and this one is, me. Authorize mayor to sign a letter to Ray LaHood, the United States Secretary of Transportation, in support of Lee County MPO's application for the Tiger Grant funding. Council, would you like to do that?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second, and various other comments. Any other comments? Roll call.
Councilman Longcart?
Aye.
Councilman McIntosh?
Aye.
Councilwoman Martin?
Aye.
Councilman Slackton?
Aye.
Mayor Nelson?
Aye.
Councilman Simmons?
Aye.
Councilwoman Simon?
Aye.
Good. Thank you, council. Then item B, a resolution accepting the resignation of a member advisory committee. And Councilman Schlechter.
Yes, this is David Grodhaus. David has taken a position with Catholic Charities, and his hours are so varied, and so it was unable for him to even attend the meetings. We support that, and we thank David. And on behalf of the council, I presented him with the certificate that we normally present to individuals who served on that committee. And Dave was on that committee for 2 years. And the committee also recommended, after looking at the bylaws of our committee, that we could appoint Bob Gillette as long as he attends 4 meetings out of the year. So we
Okay.
are recommending Bob.
So you will be bringing that forward at a later
Yes.
at a later time?
Mhm.
Okay, because I don't see that on here. Okay, and so at this time you make the motion
To, mhm.
to approve the resolution.
Yep.
There's a motion to approve the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Councilman McIntosh?
Aye.
Councilwoman Martin?
Aye.
Councilman Slackton?
Aye.
Mayor Nelson?
Aye.
Councilman Simmons?
Aye.
Councilwoman Simons?
Aye.
Councilman Longcart?
Aye.
Okay, let's go on down. Bill, do you have anything for us today?
Yeah, I do. I want to thank the staff for the picnic that we had last week. It was wonderful. My wife enjoyed it too, which is important. When the lady says she had a good time, that's a good thing. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Martha?
Mayor, I'd like to congratulate you, because I forgot the last time, for receiving the Melvin Jones Award from the Bonita Springs Lions Club. This is a very honorable and highly coveted award, and occasionally it's given, and very rarely, given to non-members for their service to the community that is in line with the goals of the Lions Club. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yep. It's a big deal, you know. Okay. I want to thank Councilman Simmons for collecting letters of support for the Oak Creek Restoration Project. Important. Thanks so much. And congratulate BSEED, the Bonita Springs Estero Economic Development Council, for their involvement with the, and Carl and the mayor, with the involvement with bringing Hertz to the area. And you guys, our city manager, Carl Schwing, and the mayor got a special shout out by Jim Moore from the county EDO at their announcement that Hertz was the mystery company that the county was courting, that more than anybody else, Bonita Springs was very cordial. They wish they could be here, but the location that they chose in Estero, which it works with BSEED, because that was what we said was Estero, Bonita, fine. If it gets a job for somebody in Bonita and they got to go an extra mile, you know, great. So that I feel that worked really well for us. And anyhow, congratulations, guys and council. And then my last is an inquiry. I had a call from somebody who had signed a HUD grant for their mobile home years ago, and they passed away. And the person well, it's a long, complicated thing, but anyhow, renewal of HUD grants are at 12% interest, or SHIP grants, you know, through HUD, and to help rehabilitate people who are lower income. And it's almost like predatory lending. But I don't know if we can investigate whether we can work something out about these 12% loan agreements with the county. It's really, especially for a lower income person, it's quite burdensome. So, I don't know if you can have a conversation with them about that, but not just for this particular person. I think that there are other people who are having that problem
We will
too.
contact our colleagues up at the county that run the SHIP program and find out what the status is.
Yeah, thanks. That's about it, and everybody have a lovely end of the month, and we'll see you at Memorial Day.
All right, thank you. Pete, what do you got?
Also want to thank you for the great picnic on Saturday, Carl. It was excellent, and everybody else involved. And your wife's broccoli salad was fantastic, comparable to mine. So I'll just leave it at that. But it was fantastic for sure. It was a good time, definitely. And I also want to point out to folks that might be hearing this or listening to this that on Wednesday, May 22nd, at the Plantation Golf and Country Club, two of our local state senators, Senator Garrett Richter and Senator Lizbeth Benaquisto. As we know, Lizbeth is the majority leader of the Florida Senate, and Garrett is president pro tem. We have a lot of horsepower here locally, and I think it would be nice for people to come out and support them. I'll be there. I know a lot of us are going to be going. People can get in contact with Mike Welsh at 239-565-8450 or by email at buildingissues@aol.com. That would be a nice thing. That's Wednesday, May 22nd at 11:30 at the Plantation Golf and Country Club in Fort Myers. Another thing, I've had a couple people ask me, so I just want to point a clarification. At our last meeting, I voted against the Library Task Force recommendation. And people said to me, well, Peter, and I think if we think back, why did you vote against the library? Well, that certainly wasn't my intent at all. If we scroll back a few months, I had actually asked to be on that task force, but Councilman Lonkardt's been involved with that for a long time, and certainly prior to my getting elected last year, so I wasn't able to be on that task force. But I just want to make it very clear why I voted against it. This recommendation to me to commission $50,000 to conduct a study, to me, is bureaucracy in action. Not democracy in action, bureaucracy in action. We're going to spend $50,000 to find out what we already know. We need a new library, we need more space, we need more computers, we need more periodicals, we need more meeting rooms, and in my mind, we don't need to spend $50,000 for that recommendation. So that is the clarification on that, and that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Point of information?
I beg your pardon?
Point of information for...
Go ahead.
That money's coming from the county, not from the...
I don't care if it's coming from the good Lord above. It's $50,000 that
I agree
doesn't
with
need
you.
to be spent to tell us what we already know. And you know, I think the world of you, Bill, but
Okay.
that's why I voted against that.
You guys can just take it.
understand.
You guys can just take
it outside.
You can take it outside.
Can I go outside too?
No, you know.
My referee outfit on.
No.
Mayor.
I got a hammer, and don't make me use it. All right? We're not going to talk about that again.
Mayor.
Are we?
It's
Are
awesome. Oh, you looking at me?
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
I'm going to be taking it outside with you too, Mayor.
Anytime.
All right.
Security?
Steven, what do you got for us?
Thank you, Mayor. And I want to piggyback off what Martha said about the mayor and Carl in terms of getting, trying to negotiate effectively and hopefully that we would have had it placed here, had Hertz here in Bonita Springs. It didn't work out that way. However, I think the overflow from Estero will certainly benefit the city. And thank you both. You guys just did a great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Monday, I attended the fire district meeting, and I just wanted to share some of the stuff. They were honoring people for what they've done. There was a Bonita Beach Club fire back in March in a 7-story condominium, which was unsprinkled because of its age. Well, the loss amounted to $30,000, and they saved the building almost $10 million. Firefighters raced up 7 stories to the top floor and extinguished a room and contents fire in the kitchen. Heavy smoke on the upper floors. Residents were mostly elderly, with some being handicapped. Evacuated residents ventilated the structures, checked for the extension on the roof and adjoining units. Firefighters were able to extinguish the fire using a minimum amount of water, saving the units below the fire from water damage. I think that there's just stories of these things that our local fire are doing. A lot of people don't know about it. Memorial Day services, again, a reminder on that, the 27th of May. That's a Monday at 9 o'clock. And I've enjoyed working on this council and working with the city staff so much. I am letting everybody know that I am running for re-election for council for District 3.
Congratulations.
Good deal. Thank you very
you.
much. Glad to have you. Janet.
Okay. The Bonita Springs July 4th celebration is coming soon, so mark your calendar. There's
And
a
what
lot
date
of
will that be?
events. A lot of events that day. I think it's July 4th. But the one event that was started last year was the bed race. So start thinking on it. You need a team of 5 people. They need to be 18 years or older because you got to be able to drive the bed. So it's you can contact the Y or the city for more information, but that's going to be a great and fun event again. The Bonita Springs Rec Center, along with our sports club, is doing summer camp for ages 5 through 13, and that's a great program, and it's very, very inexpensive, and it's a wonderful way for the kids to have a nice structure and things to do in the summer. The one thing I put all of these for everyone to see, I'm so excited about this. This is the Nature Place, and I've been talking about the students from Florida Gulf Coast University and their relationship with the Nature Place, and they created this brochure. Many, many students participated in this over a 2-year time. Different students would take it on as their project. Well, they finally completed it, and now you can go out to the Nature Place and do a self-guided tour. If you've got a smartphone, there's little QR codes, and the students filmed videos of the butterflies, the bats, the gopher tortoises, and they even talk about the relationship of the Corkscrew watershed. It's pretty amazing. It's nice to see this, and I love that relationship with those students. So the brochures are available, so people can go out there and check that out. And also the Bicycle Pedestrian Safety Group had their first meeting, and they're gearing up for their next one, and it went really well, and they're very excited, and they've got some great stuff on store, so I'll be reporting on that. And also, this is the, I have to say, sadly, the Art in Public Places and the Bonita Dog Track sponsored the Big Dog event. The exhibit, they are leaving us on the 28th. So if you haven't got down to the Laos Hotel to see the big dogs, get down there, bring your camera, bring your kids, bring your family, get your pictures taken with the big dogs because they will be leaving. But I'll have to say, I am really looking forward to what the Art in Public Places Board has in store for us next year. It's going to be awesome. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Very much. Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations to one of our longtime public supporters, Gravina Smith and Matt, celebrating their 30th business anniversary this week. Congratulations to all of you. They've been great supporters of the city. After we come to our own Memorial Day service at 9 o'clock on Memorial Day, the Elks Club is having a Memorial Day service open to the public with lunch. They'll be doing a flag raising, and congratulations to all the veterans and thanks to them as well. I'm going to couple with everybody else's comments about the city, but particularly the mayor. I mentioned at the Estero Council Community Leaders meeting last week that I was very proud of the mayor. He said, we want you in the city of Bonita Springs, but if you can't find a place in the city of Bonita Springs, Estero is the right place to be. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for looking broadly at what we're doing, economic development. Thank you very much. And the telling tale was in the paper when the CEO said he hated to disappoint Mayor Nelson by not being in the city. So congratulations.
Great article.
And I've been honored to been elected by the District 1 voters by 79% last time. And I'm really pleased to have supported council in raising the quality of life in the city over the last 3 or 4 years. Now, I've filed for re-election for District 1. I've formed our committee. We've had a meeting. We have a plan. It's in place. And the first thing that's happened is that we needed 45 petitions to become an active candidate on the ballot. I asked them to find 45. They have well over 100 petitions now. So thank you for that support, and I look forward to serving you again. Thank you.
Well, and I would like to announce that I will not be running again.
Nor will I.
You all knew that. Anyway, I just want to talk just briefly a minute about the Hertz episode, if that's what it's called. Just from a standpoint, it's just kind of a personal standpoint. It was a real pleasure for me to work with Carl on this, and with Christine and Arlene, in particular, Christine Ross with the Chamber and the EDC. A great group of people, a great team. It was a lot of fun. In Worthington for hosting us in the famous room now. I have to tell you a couple of things about this experience. the reason that we were invited to the party to begin with, the reason that they specifically asked to meet with Carl and myself, not anybody else in us, was because of what they already knew about Bonita Springs. And that has been a work in progress since 2000. It had little to do with me or Carl or whatever. That's something that the community's been doing and working on. And especially the past, 6 years or so, as we went through this recession, it was because they watch these meetings. They watch our conduct. They watch how we conduct ourselves. They see what's happening in the paper. They see what we say. The message that we put out there of being a welcoming community, regardless of whether you're a developer or a resident or whatever you are. That resonated with them. And that, as it turns out, were the questions they were asking. How will we be received? Will the people we bring with us, will they be welcome? Are the schools good? Will our children feel safe? All these questions were really easy to answer for me, mainly because of what the groundwork that's been laid down here, especially in the last 5 years, because we felt as a council that that's what we needed to do. That philosophy of becoming the place where people want to be works, and it does not go unnoticed. So there wasn't anything magical about that. And then once they were interested, it was just a matter of, here's what your life will be like. And this is a pretty easy sell. I have to tell you. If you don't know that already, I don't know what you're doing living here, because it's a real easy sell to come to the city of Bonita Springs. And so far as being in Estero or here or whatever, we made it very clear to them that we were going to continue to help them. And we are. Right at this moment, I want you to know that Laura and Christine Ross and Arlene and Carl, we are still gently and professionally providing information. We're not going to be one of those people who are banging on their door or trying to move up to New Jersey to try to convince them. We're still going to conduct ourselves in a professional manner that is that if you need information, we have it for you. And I want to thank all of our people here for conducting themselves in a real professional manner.
And we want to thank you, Mayor.
Well, thank you. And remember, big bright future, still working, still true. Okay. And on the other hand, Off the Hook Comedy Club. Wow, I'm really excited about that too. They're coming to town. I'm almost as excited about that as the other one. Yay! I don't have to drive the Marco anymore. So and they're coming here for real similar reasons. So that's what the paper says anyway. Anyway, and I know that we've all been working hard on that. So thank you very much. Thank you, staff. Thank you, council. And that's all I got here for this time. And now, why don't we do this? Why don't we approve the minutes? How about that?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion, a second. Roll call.
Councilwoman Martin?
Aye.
Councilman Slechta?
Aye.
Mayor Nelson?
Aye.
Councilman Simmons?
Aye.
Councilwoman Simons?
Aye.
Councilman Long?
Aye.
Councilman McIntosh?
Aye.
Okay, and we'll have public comment this time. Anyone wishing to speak at this time, please come forward.
We're working on a world record again.
10 after 10.
Well, what are
Here
we doing
comes
wrong?
Peter.
10:08 with the world
Hi,
record.
Pete
What's going on?
Pastore from Bonita. I would like to let you know that I've also taken out a packet to run as a candidate for District 3.
There you go, Pete.
All right.
Hi, Deb McLean, publisher of the Banana Peel. I just got a notice that the Preferred Unlimited Corkscrew LLC, mine of Bonita Springs, is up for auction today, $65 million judgment. And this person has a sense of humor. I think it's magically, excuse me, I'm losing my, I think it's magically going to turn into a great big community, haha. No. And the assessed value of that property today is $1,639,670, not $65 million. So I just thought you'd like to have that little update. We'll know tonight if somebody bids on it.
All right, thank you very much. Anyone else this time?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Nice job.
Okay.
Meeting's adjourned.
Hey.